Hello everybody and welcome to Talking Bollocks. Yeah, we'll start off by saying that Richard isn't here, hence why I've stepped in. He's got babysitting duties apparently. But yeah, so there was a concept for this program tonight, and that's kind of been blown out of the water considering like I'm here and stuff. But we're going to talk about movies that annoy us.
Yeah.
So this should be fun.
It's in my side of it. It's not. Well, some of them annoy me. Some of the films themselves annoy me as a concept, and some of them have parts of them that annoy me.
Right.
I'm going to guess that there are going to be some people, including yourself, that are going to disagree with me. But hopefully, when I explain my reasons, we'll see why.
Yeah, and if you do disagree, please message in.
Absolutely.
Because
let us know.
Feedback's brilliant, man.
Yeah, let us know. If need be, we can do like a follow up, and we'll address some of these things as well.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So would you like to start? We'll run through them quite quickly because obviously we've got a bit of a list.
We've got a kind of list. Yeah, I will start. In fact, Pearl Harbor. It is quite well known now that all three of us really dislike this movie. Pretty much, it's the love story in it that ruins it, and there's no need for it. And the only good bit of the film is where the Japanese are bombing the ships and killing people. And
for special effects, really.
Yeah. And that's about it. I mean, I don't even like the bit where they drop the nuclear bomb. Is it the bomb? Or is it just the bombing raid? Can't even remember now. I try to block it out of my mind that much. But yeah, it's literally basically for the love story in it, the love triangle, where she's cheating on him and she thinks he's dead, he comes back and it's like, yeah. Yeah, and that's why I don't like it.
I'll agree with that, and I'll add a little bit to it, and it'll add to another film that we haven't got on the list. The length of it.
Yeah.
What's that about? And is it me, or is it the certain actor that might be in it? Because the film that brings me on to is something that we've spoken about before, which is War of the Worlds. The length of it. The film is good. The length of it is not.
Yeah.
It's just not right. Anyway, sorry.
I actually enjoyed the new War of the Worlds. I thought,
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, just for the graphic visual effects.
It's awesome, but it just like, as I've said previously, it's like they do like 2.5 hours and somebody goes, oh shit guys, we've only got half an hour left, pack the rest into half an hour and we won.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
We won, signed Wellington. That's basically what happens. Anyway. So yeah, that's a disagreement.
Yep. So what's the next one?
Go on, do another one.
Do another one. U571.
Wow. Yeah. What can you say is good about the film? It's got a submarine in it.
Yeah. Woohoo! Submarine. No, the reason I really hate this film, and I've watched it maybe twice, 3 times, and I still dislike it. It practically because it's just not true, and that's all I can say. It's just not true. It's lies upon lies upon lies. Yes, this happened, but it wasn't an American submarine at all. It was a British submarine with a British crew that captured this Enigma machine.
If the film set out to be a film that was totally factual about a submarine who went and did something, that's awesome. It's not. It
would have been a brilliant film if they just stuck to the facts. And people know I'm a stickler for the war films, and especially when they're not right. But put it one way, this is how insulting this film was. On the premiere in Britain, they invited survivor members of the Bulldog crew, which was the British submarine.
The actual submarine.
Yeah, to the premiere, and they got up and walked out in disgust. And that's the crew.
Yeah, of the actual. Yeah, it says it all, really, doesn't it?
When I read that, it was just heartbreaking because these guys put their lives on the line, and you just get shit on by Hollywood. Sorry for the language, but that's why I don't like it.
Unfortunately, I mean, don't get me wrong, Hollywood does make good films from time to time, but that's my general opinion of Hollywood as a whole, unfortunately. That sort of brings me on to my first one, and you like this film or set of films, and that's The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games, as films and books, are not bad. The fact that the people who wrote the films and the people who wrote the book fully say that it's an original story and has not had any influence is a lie. If you've not seen a film called Battle Royale or read the book called Battle Royale, it's the same film. It's only done in an Asian sort of environment in a different way. It's much more violent. To me, it has a story that works. I mean, yes, okay, the film is a bit nuts, but the book itself is absolutely fantastic, and it really goes into depth. It brings you really in love with every single character and then kills them off instantly. Hunger Games is like a Disney version of it.
Yeah, well,
do you not agree?
It had to be watered down because obviously the certificate that was given.
Why did it have to be watered down? That's another issue that I've got.
Yeah, it's basically to.
It's a film about violence, about people killing each other. Leave it as an 18.
Yeah, but it's not business sense really. And that's what it's boiling down to. The only problem I've got with the Hunger Games is it is spawned a beast, and like now everything's trying to copy off it, and there's divergence. It's the Hunger Games, pretty much. There's one coming out called The Maze, and it's pretty much the Hunger Games, and it's all. I hate to say this, but it's
Hollywood.
It's teen girl porn.
It's Hollywood.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
I mean, where's the fat guys in these films? There's no fat guys, you know what I mean? My race of people is left out.
There is Battle Royale, they don't last very long, like.
I know that, but I'm saying, like, in the modern sense, with all these new films, it's like everybody has to be so prim and proper.
If you like to read books, go and read Battle Royale. It's my #1 book that I've ever read, and it is the only book that the author has ever written, and it is epic. If you can't be bothered to read the book, watch the film. It takes most of the principle of it, and there is one guy in it who constantly says his dad did everything. My dad was a medic, I know how to do this. My dad used to be a fisherman, I know how to say it, but it's awesome. Go and watch it, tell me I'm wrong. Moving on. Go on, do another one.
I can't even remember what I put down. I haven't got my glasses on.
Cloud Atlas.
The very first review I ever posted on HMR was Cloud Atlas. And if you remember rightly, I scrutinised this film so bad. I hate this film. It's a Tom Hanks film.
Good actor.
Yeah, you know what it is? He's a brilliant actor. And when I seen the trailers for this, it's like, oh yeah. And I watched it and it was like, you know what? This film absolutely sucks. I mean, I got the concept of it and I got the meaning behind the whole storyline, but it's like 3 hours long. It drags and drags and drags, and it like jumps from future, past, present, future, present, past, and it doesn't follow the same timeline, and it, oh my god, you sat there going, what's going on? Why is these old people trying to escape from no person's home? Then all of a sudden you're in the future, it's like, why do all these people look weird? Then it jumps back in the past, why are these people on a ship? It's like, what the
it does,
going on?
The timeline does work, but it's so badly directed.
Yeah, it's
do you know what I mean?
The timeline thing works, but the way it jumps
just,
between the different ones doesn't work.
Do you know what, to me, do you know what it's trying to do? It's trying to be really intelligent. Only intelligent people will be able to get this, but it isn't, because the story doesn't need to be intelligent. The story itself is alright.
I mean, I'm not intelligent, I mean, I do this. But I got it straight away. I got what it was about, and I understood the meaning of the story. But there's just no need for the way it's being
That's it.
done.
You're absolutely right, there's no need for it to be that long. Right, I'm going to do a film now. I'm going to do it very quickly because while we were compiling this list, there was another film that I couldn't remember and I've remembered it. So I'm very quickly going to do a film called The Road. Now it's a post-apocalyptic film, which is a genre that I like. I love post-apocalyptic stuff. It's a big plus for me. Show me a post-apocalyptic movie of some kind and I'll watch it and I'll tell you whether it's good or not.
And it's a great actor. The lead actor is just
What, in The Road?
Yeah.
Right, concept. There's a guy. There's a child. They're walking along a road. I've just done it. That's the film.
Yeah.
I understand the principle of it. I understand the context of it. The fact that it's post-apocalyptic. There's nothing left in the world. Humanity goes together. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And I'm sorry if you like the film, but it doesn't work. The way that it's written, the way it's directed, the way that it's acted, even the acting of it was so forced. It doesn't work. And the end, I mean, is it even worth spoiling the end?
Yeah. Spoiler.
What did you think about the end?
Shit. I just want the kid to die all the way through the film, and so it didn't really matter.
I think that was I think that was what the feeling you got of it.
It's like just kill a kid and fuck off. It'd be a lot easier for you, man.
He was never ever going to survive.
No.
And the thing is, right, in a post-apocalyptic film, you've always got that concept of the person who is going to be there. I mean, look at Book of Eli.
Yeah.
You always thought he wasn't going to survive through every means, and in the end, he kind of didn't. I mean, kind of did, but he kind of didn't. But you felt for that character. In The Road,
you just want the kid to die from the beginning.
From the beginning, You don't want them to be together, and you know he's going to die, and it annoys me. And I'm sorry. And I watched the whole thing because I just have to do. You have to watch the whole film. I was bother. Right, the other one that I was thinking of that I couldn't remember, which you may or may not have seen, Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief.
You know what it is, right? Before you even start criticising this film, okay, one of the gods is a god.
I'm not going to say that at all.
Alright then.
They're talking about
just
demigods.
Sean Bean alone.
No, they're talking about demigods.
Sean Bean's mint.
The mythology that they've got is wrong.
Mm. Yeah, oh, yeah,
entirely.
God, yeah.
If you're going to make a film about gods and demigods and things like that, do it right. That's my first concept. It's a kid's book, which made it a kid's film. I understand that. I haven't got an issue with that. I've watched a lot of films with kids' films. That's one of the lists that we were going to put together. But Percy Jackson is a lightning thief, and he has control. Does he have control, or does one of his mates have control over the oceans, over the seas, and over the water? It's Percy Jackson, isn't it? Who has control of that, something like that.
Yeah, because he's
the son of
Poseidon.
Yeah. So there's your concept. You've got a kid. He's got to do all this stuff. There's the end of the world. They've got to save it. Sweet, no problem. One of the main characters gets killed, and I honestly thought they were going to stay killed. They didn't. Annoyed me. But the big thing, they're on a boat, okay? They're chasing after these people. They've got, like, there's a certain group who were mates of theirs, I think, at some point. They go off to begin the end of the world because they think that they're going to be friends of the person who ends the world. It's God. They're not going to happen. It's a bad thing, that's the way that the world works. Bad things happen and they happen to the bad people. It doesn't work like that, but regardless. So, at the end of the day, they go on a boat and they're chasing and they end up on the boat with the nasty people. And they end up going off the boat. There's a big thing about how, these people are going to drown, blah, 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 blah. He's in control of the sea. Why the fuck, and I'm sorry for saying it, but why the fuck is he on a boat? He actually gets off the boat, there's a big drama about people who are going to drown, and then he calls in the white horses. Yeah. Why the fuck didn't he do that from the start? That lines up. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's a shit film, and I wanted to walk out of the cinema. Honestly, it's one of the few times I've ever done that, and it's shit. But it's like the Lord of the Rings thing for me. I love the films, I love the books. Why didn't they fly in the eagles? I'm sorry, and I know people will come up and will go, well, it's because they couldn't, and there was this and there was that.
Yeah, I was going to say you've just stirred the hornet's nest of trolls there.
I like it. I like Lord of the Rings. I love it. I love the journey. The whole point of it. It's like the Dark Tower books. I loved all of them because it was about the journey. It was not about the destination. It was about the journey.
The gunslinger.
Is that what I was saying? The gunslinger, the first one. I love it. The whole point of the Lord of the Rings is the journey, but when you've got the ability to get rid of the journey from start to finish, it doesn't work. Sorry, that's a little rant.
And also Sean Bean dies in Sean Bean's part.
Sean Bean dies in everything. I was watching Sharp today and I was just like, why does he not just survive? But never mind.
Does he survive in Sharp?
I know he does, but I'm seeing in these films.
Oh, wait, I don't know. Maybe there's a confidence in Death Snake.
Ah, he does. Right, do you want to do another one? I've got two more, you've got one more. Ender's Game.
Ender's Game.
Ender's Game, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, in my review, I actually give this quite a high rating. And I do like the film, but it's the concept that really annoys me. It's like this kid, he's like, yeah, I'm a really good gamer. Pretty much like what most humans do these days. And it's like...
I haven't got an issue with that.
No, it's not the issue with that. It's the issue with the whole end of the film. The end annoyed me. The end of the film annoyed me. It's like, you're gonna be trained for this battle. You're gonna have to protect the human race because we were invaded by aliens. Technically, he finds out that they came, but nobody could speak to them. So it was like they just fought each other anyway. They actually was the humans that fired the first shot, and the species is dying.
Very
And then he goes and just commits fucking genocide for no reason. It's like they're running out of everything. They're gonna die off. They were just like trying to survive, and then you actually feel so sorry for the bloody aliens that are trying being.
I agree with that.
Then he fucks off at the end with like a queen alien. It's like, I've got this queen. I'm going to fly off and find a planet.
Basically shitting on everything. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, wow.
And it's like, it just doesn't work. You know, I'd rather the main character being a right bastard and went, yeah, I've wiped everybody out.
Yeah.
Then it's done.
Yeah, it just wasn't. It just didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah. Is it going to be a massacre, or is it going to be like, oh yeah, but everything has to have a silver lining? It's like, no.
But who made it? Hollywood.
Yeah. It's.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Shoot
I'm sorry,
yourself.
but this is my pet hate with stuff like that. If they make a good film, it's really good.
Yeah.
If they make any other kind of film, it's epically average. That's all I can say. And it's always got a silver lining or a happy ending or a moral. Life doesn't work like that and annoys me.
Yeah, or an undertone of theology.
Yeah. Right, I've got 2 more films, one of which you've seen, one
Yeah.
of which you haven't.
Yeah.
What have I written there? Is that The Demise? The Device? Oh, The Divide. I couldn't remember the name of this film. Film, again, a post-apocalyptic film which I watched a long time ago. And do you know what it is? I really liked it. Basically, apocalypse happens, but you never see it, and I love that bit. I love that. And the end, these group of people who really don't match end up in the basement of an apartment block. In the basement is where the janitor lives, and I think he kind of knew it was coming and all this sort of stuff. They lock themselves in. They know the apocalypse has happened, and they start to like live their life. And there's certain things happens which I think is very true to humanity, like, you know, they're running out of food and things like that, and they find out that the janitor has got his own personal space where he doesn't let anybody in, and that's cool. I mean, I understand that. I would almost be in that sort of position. But then he finds out that it's full of food and all of this sort of stuff, and he's been surviving while they've been slowly starving. And it's like the way that the run out of food and things like that's really well done. And then they sort of find this out, and this group of scientists find them, and they produce this like what is it, hermetically sealed polytunnel sort of idea to try and take people out to experiment on them and things. And there's a really cool bit where they burst in and they take some people away, and then one of them gets killed, and one of them dresses up in their white biosuit, goes out and sees what's going on, and it's all loads of experiments and shit like that that's going on. Loved it. And like at the end, I mean, I'm going to talk about the middle bit in a second, but at the end, one of them gets out, and it's like I expected it. I so expected it to have been like not the apocalypse, or you know, a nice happy end, and it wasn't. And she got out, and the world was done. And she like comes across this little corpse, which is just a skeleton that's been burnt to a crisp, and all of the buildings are fucked. And I loved it. However, there is a bit in the middle where people return to the roots, as it were, of humanity. They lose the structure, they lose the discipline, they murder people, they rape people, they end up walking about with no clothes on for some fucking God only knows reason. I don't really get it. And it was so forced, that bit of the film, that it ruins a really good film. It's like the beginning is great, the concept is great, some of the acting is actually really good, the end is mint, but it's ruined by the middle. Like, who watched this and proofread and went, yeah, that bit's really good, this epic post-apocalyptic porn to good end? Who did it? I mean, and it's like really violent at times, it just didn't need to be. I understand the principle, and they could have gone about it a different way, and it just annoys me. And now I've got one more recent film, not really a recent film, but
about 5-year-old now, I reckon.
Can't it be that old? Can it?
Yeah.
Can it? Oh well, it's
maybe 3.
Yeah, probably about 3-year-old. I went and watched this film. It's called The Darkest Hour. Takes place in Russia, a place that I love. Moscow. Been to some of the places in the film. Love it. Concept of the film is different. It is actually different to any sort of other real films. I mean, I'm sure there are films out there that are very similar to it, but it's different. It's almost, to me, feels a bit like a B-movie, low budget, sort of Dog Soldier sort of style.
In some places, I'll agree with you there. Yeah, it does. Apart from when they're bringing up all the oars. That was really well done.
I love that bit. It's basically what happens is this alien race attacks the Earth for mining potential to take out the mine out of the world. Yeah, and they're going to destroy the world, and people have got to rebel. And it's a good concept, and it's about people like the struggle that people have to find a way to get back at the aliens, because they're like invisible and they use water and electricity to kill people, and it's awesome. And they go in different places in Moscow, and again, as I said, some of the places that I've been, and your group of protagonists, would you say? The good guys.
Yeah.
Half
one of them is enough.
Yeah, well, the group of good guys, they're going through Moscow. They meet up with a load of Russians, and they've got like a horse with armor on it, and they've got these fucking belting weapons, and they can do this, and it takes them a little while to like how to kill the aliens, but they work it out.
They all kitted up like Daisy.
Oh, it's awesome. And then there's a bit towards the end where like the good guys, and I am getting onto why I haven't spoken about them in a minute. The good guys team up with some Russians who are, I have to say, I mean, typical Russian, but hard as fuck.
Yeah.
And they get to the edge of Moscow, and I think it was a bit of a tribute to the Second World War, the monument. The Germans got this far, got no further, sort of thing. I felt that they got to the edge of Moscow, and then I'll talk about what happens next. But they got to the edge of Moscow, and there's a little bit from the Russian, and he says, "Moscow is at my back. I can go no further." And I was just like, oh, goose pimples, loved it. Now, why does this film annoy me? Why didn't they have Russians in Russia being Russian? No, they have to have 2 American women and an American bloke. Is it?
No. It's 2 American women, 2 American men, and a Swede.
Yes, that's right. Why? Why does it have to be that? Like, don't get me wrong, I know it was an American film and I understand the concept of it, but the Americans are so American, they might as well have been eating cheeseburgers. I shit you not.
I agree there.
And it's badly acted by the Americans because they are trying to be American. They didn't need to. They just needed to be actors. They didn't need. It felt to me like someone went in and went, "Don't forget you're Americans, and don't you dare let the audience forget that."
Yeah.
Really?
You know who I thought the worst actor out of a lot of them was? The Swedish guy.
I agree.
The one that's a knob, because I don't know whether he's American or Swedish.
But he's not. It's like he could.
But he's just a knob.
His character is meant to be a knob, but he's a knob in a different way. It's like he could quite easily have been an annoying, not an annoying character, but like a character that you don't. You had to like, you'd have to sort of become like understand him, but you don't. You just think he's a knob because he's a knob as a person, not as the character.
It's business.
Yeah.
No, you've just screwed them over. It's business. You know, there's wolves and there's sheep.
So
you're sheep.
Yeah. So that annoyed me. Like, why couldn't one of the main characters be a Russian? That would have really done it for me, because that's what you would have got. Even in the new Die Hard film, where it's got John. Oh, I liked it. I did. I like all the Die Hard films mostly.
I could have put that on my list.
But there is, I think that's something else to go into. But like, there is reason I don't like that, and some reason I do like it. But there's even in that, you've got 2 big Americans, John McClane and his son, but they work with the Russians.
Yeah.
It works anyway. And what's my other big downfall with this film? Post-apocalyptic, the world's ended. There's some lass who's trying to get in contact with her mum, who turns out has gone into an air base or some bunker or something in America. Cool, I get it. Towards the end of the film, they find a submarine that goes. Where they're going to go back to
collecting survivors.
Collecting survivors to go back to America. That's not a problem. I haven't got an issue with that. They get on the submarine. They've overthrown most of the aliens out of Moscow and Russia. And what are they going to? Well, yeah, they're getting that way. They are getting that way.
Yeah,
you know, they know how to kill them.
They're figuring it out.
The Russians aren't going to take long to take them out. I understand that. So what do? You're this one guy who's got this specific gun, and you know how it works.
Yeah.
And a group of people, sorry, not just the guy. They know how it works.
Like the Russian invented the gun, though.
They did, yeah. Don't get me wrong. They got this gun. The Russians guys explained how it works. Blah 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 blah. And then they're going to leave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I defy anybody in realism, and I like realism in films because that's the point for me. Sometimes a fantasy, sometimes they're like an escape. I like realism in films as best as you can get, and no one would have done that. No one would have said, right, what we're going to do now is we've worked out how to rid the Russians of these aliens in Russia, but fuck you, I'm off to America. to save one person. I'm sorry, it just wouldn't happen.
It's not that they off to America. It explains it in the film. It's like the on about that in Belgium they've taken down one of the towers.
Yeah, I know, because there's Brits as well.
Yeah, and they're going. I think it's to France because there's a British submarine and there's a few other different submarines.
But
so
it doesn't. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at the end. It's a good film, and it's just tacked on at the end to produce a happy ending. You like if they'd stayed in Russia and said, right, there's a submarine coming, and we're going to meet up in France, and then we're going to go to America. Awesome. You can leave it at that. You just don't know whether they actually got to the submarine or they didn't get there, or you just don't know. In the submarine, it just doesn't work. And do you know what else doesn't work? A forced love scene at the end. At the very, very end in the submarine, there's two of them get together, and it's so forced.
Yeah, it's the main actor and that lassie that go, oh look at some guys from the picture that doing the thing. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
But you knew it was going to happen. It didn't need that scene in it. No. Cut it out. It didn't need it. You knew it would happen. They already had the connection, but because of the shitty forced love scene at the end, you didn't care. You cared up to that point. Like, are they going to get together? Are they going to overcome this border that they don't like? They didn't like each other, but they did like each other. But they were going to get together. But were they going to survive? Because some people didn't. And then they go, hey, my phone works now.
Yeah.
What was that all about? I'm on a submarine, by the way, which is a nuclear submarine underwater.
Shielded.
I know it wasn't underwater, it was in a river. They closed the fucking lid. I've got cracking reception. Better than my AA reception, I tell you that.
Yeah, I can understand your points. Some of the bits are like just ludicrously stupid.
But if a film set out to be a film which is awesome with ludicrous stupid bits in it, I can understand it and I can accept that. It didn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, the ending does let it down. But
the film's good.
In its defense, like during the ending, it's like when like the catch closes and it's like the screen's going black. It's explaining, we're fighting back in such and such a country and in such and such a country. We've taken down this, we've taken down that. And you're like, that leaves you wanting to go, well, I want to know what's happening in that country.
Yeah.
What they doing? What's different? What they doing? What's different? And I thought that itself was like teasing you to just want a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there could easily have been a sequel, but because of the end, I don't really want one.
No. Yeah, I can understand that.
They produced an ability to be a sequel by having, this could happen and that could happen and we know this is going on. But you've ended the story. You haven't left it at like, did they get out? Did they not? Did they get the submarine? Did they not? You know they did.
Yeah. And
it's a nuclear-based submarine that's going to go underwater and it can travel for weeks and weeks without coming up. I think that's made a point of that. So you know it gets there.
It's been like a year underwater, can't it?
Yeah, and it's like, where is there to go? It's a Hollywood end.
Every major city's like getting basically strip mined for the copper, anything that's like conductive material.
Yeah.
Is getting sucked up into the sky, and it's like, But I actually enjoyed that part of the film where you see the builders goes,
oh, it's awesome.
Then the beam comes down and
it's
starting
awesome.
to suck it all up. It's like, it's mint.
And there's people there's the bit with the police and the dog. It's awesome. And do you know what it is? There's a bit as well, and I suppose it's Russia, so you just fucking pay somebody, but I've no idea how they managed to get the authority to do it, because you don't film in Red Square usually.
No.
And there was a bit in the film where there's two cop cars parked in the middle of Red Square, and there's a big scene in Red Square.
Yeah, it's only one cop car.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And they set the alarm off, don't they?
It's when it's coming closer, the lights come on, then the alarm starts going off, and you hide underneath the car.
And I was just like, I was dumb. It's Red Square. You don't film there. How did they get the permission to do that?
The reason they got permission for that is because one of the companies that worked on the film is actually a Russian company.
Well, there you go. I'm sure a lot of this stuff was Russian, but they sort of, I don't know. I'm sure it was good, but it was just annoying. And I remember coming out of the film going, do you know what it is? That was awesome, but it could have been so better. But anyway.
That was awesome, but the end sucked.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my films. They annoy me. They're your films. Yeah. They annoy you.
More than certain.
As I said, not all of our films that we've done are annoying films. Some of them are very good films. Some of them are very well acted. Some of them are very well written. They've just aspects that let them down. And do you know what it is? Just checking here.
I think the only one we can probably agree on is U571.
Oh yeah.
For the same reason.
Do you know what it is? They're all Hollywood.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, they are. They're all Hollywood.
Right, I'm raged up enough now.
And you know what it is, we're going to leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave a like on the video if you like it. If you don't, well, just don't leave a like. Simple as that.
Leave us your comment, tell us what you think. Are we right, are we wrong? Please like the page on Facebook and
please like the page on YouTube, and follow us.
Yeah.
Subscribe to YouTube, and it'll probably save a lot of time and hassle having to click on that, then it goes through the other link. You just see on YouTube, oh bang, there it is. Click on it straight away,
and you'll be notified as soon as we put something up.
Yeah,
cool.
and that's it.
Thank you very much.
Ta-ra.